And we are... Oh yes. Hello. And good morning. Welcome to yet another fantastic, amazing episode of Redstone LAPIS LAZULI. Hello, yes, welcome. Season 3. Season 3. I can't believe we made it this far. I made it this far. Oh my, well, we, because I have you, my audience, right? Who's with me on this. So thanks for coming along on my trip. Man, it's been a wild trip. Let me tell you. Let me turn this down a bit. It's been a wild trip. It's been wild. Let's see. We got everything going here. Oh, we gotta switch back. This way. I don't know how I messed that up. Alright, here. It's been a wild trip. Since season 1. Do you remember season 1? When it was me and Captain Pones on a tiny little island with a village, and like neither one of us really knew how to play Minecraft? Like, you can watch as I learn in real time how rails work. And my very first rail station, I was so proud of that. Oh man, it was so bad. And then how I learned by watching all these great YouTubers, and how I learned how to make all this great stuff. And then yeah, and then how I got to talk with people and talk about all the big things going on in our country, and the big move from where we've been to where we are now. Oh boy. But yeah, here we're on. I think this is the season 3. The last time I made a switch, I changed seasons. It was when the Democrats won the primary, or won their seats, I think. I called that the flip, I think. And then it was season 2. Now we're on season 3, because this is after Mueller has testified. Robert Mueller has left the building. He is done. he's done. So we have his report, which he described as a living document. Wow. Okay. So it behooves us as a people to read his living document, the thing he poured himself into. Yeah. So hey, check it out. Here's my swamp base. There's where I'm chilling at right now at the moment. Now, if I take this waterway under the bridge, or underneath this, and then under the water here, head south through the water. You see there's like this little dock here or something, this kind of dock type thing. And then we have this big black box. What is this big black box? What is that? That's got to be something brand new. Let's go find out. Let's go take that journey and see what this is all about. Oh, it's getting dark. Let me go to bed first, and then we'll do this journey. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Nice. Good night's sleep. That'd be great. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna hop in my boat here, and then there's my farm, and there's my iron farm. Farming the golems, getting that iron. Under the farm, under my bridge, through the expanse of waterways. Like, these trees are growing out of the water. That's kind of cool, like mangroves. That's neat. Oh, that big, huge screen, nether portal. My goodness. It's a giant nether portal. It's 2 giant nether portals. Let's go out here a bit. Oh my goodness. 2 gigantic nether portals facing each other. My goodness. Let's check this out. Oh, amazeballs. 2 gigantic nether portals looking at each other. Let's go take a closer look, shall we? Through the bayou, the swamplands. Yeah, nice. And then we're just at the edge of the bayou, and that up there starts the highlands. So here, let's go this way. Da-da. Underground. Oh my goodness. What is this place? There's a rail station over there. There's that deal. And then there's a deal over there. Let's walk in a bit, and we see the workstation. And we have just pigmen. Pigmen from heaven. I don't know, probably not heaven, but they're zombie pigmen. And they're chilling in this chamber. Immobile. Immobile and continuous. We have these boxes here. This one says gold, and this is rotten flesh. That looks like the fuel for this furnace, which puts out gold nuggets. That says gold swords. Look at, we got this waterway here. And if we come in the back, we see a bunch of hoppers, which feeds into this waterway, which shoots into this dispenser, which is shoot it up to the water. And we go along the water to the hopper. Oh, yep. And this hopper feeds into a line, a hopper line right here. And the first machine it gets to, this machine here, is a non-stackable item sorter. So if you are a non-stackable item, like a golden sword, what you will do is you will stop along this pipeline and fall through and get selected to come in. And you go into this box, which gets fed into this furnace. So you will be a gold sword and smelted down and turned into a gold nugget. If you are not a gold sword, you continue along to this next machine. This machine is a stackable item sorter. This machine is looking for rotten flesh. And the rotten flesh it finds, it will stop and drag down into these boxes down here. If you are neither a non-stackable item nor rotten flesh, you will come to this last box. And that means gold bars, gold nuggets, and chicken parts, because chicken jockeys come down. And that's this machine here. And then all these guys come in. Well, where are these guys coming from? Well, let's go take a look. I have this elevator. Goodness. And here we are. The two large nether portals. And they face inward to the stream. It's a trap. Because in the middle, in between these two giant portals to the evil nether dimension, inside these two portals, in between, are tiny little defenseless turtle eggs. Oh, these poor little turtle eggs. They are so defenseless. They contain within them the beginnings of life. Oh, yes, my little kitty. Yes, the beginnings of life. And in these turtle shells, these turtle eggs, lie goodness, the seed of goodness. So helpless, so defenseless. Oh, my Maudie Maud, yes. But, and so, because they are so defenseless and so good, the zombie pigmen want to destroy them. Yes, zombie pigmen spawn from the portals of the nether. These gigantic portals. Because the portals are so big, many zombie pigmen spawn. And they sense the goodness residing within their turtle eggs. Defenseless, helpless turtle eggs. So fragile that if even I were to accidentally walk on them, they would break. So they must be defended. Because zombie pigmen see this and they want to crush them. Defend the weakest thing in the game. They see the weakest thing and they want to crush it. So zombie pigmen run to go crush these eggs. But zombie pigmen aren't too bright. They see these trap doors as solid blocks. So what they see is a bridge that they can walk over to get to these zombie pigmen. Or to these eggs so they can crush them. But unbeknownst to the zombie pigmen, it's a trap. Those blocks aren't actually there. So what they're walking into is empty air. And they fall, even the baby pigmen, they fall into the water thinking they can reach the eggs. And they fall in this trap. And there's nowhere for them to go except down. Down, down, down. Because that's where zombie pigmen go. Is down for retribution. Retribution time. A reckoning time. Time for the reckoning. So all these zombie pigmen come down. Oh, 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 oh. And where do they go? They come here, where they await judgment. Some zombie pigmen die on the fall, but that's okay because the hoppers will pick up their stuff and repurpose it to good. And if this is a nice little farm, because eventually this is 5 spaces wide, so it's not so big that you can't reach them with your sword, but not so small that that you can't concentrate them. So with 5 spaces and each space holding 24 pigmen, you can have like over 100 pigmen just waiting for you to slay at once. But if you choose not to do this, if you want to make this an AFK pigman farm, you can do that. All you have to do is wait until the buffer is filled with over 100 pigmen, and after that, pigmen will die spontaneously due to entity cramming. And when they die spontaneously, their drops will fall into the hopper and they will be sent. But if you want to make this more efficient, you use a looting 3 sword, and you kill them with your sword manually. So try to avoid getting all the drops, because if you do that, then you have to manually sort them. That's annoying. But otherwise, the hoppers will grab it and manually handle it. You see, it all gets shoved into this item elevator, which puts it up into the stream, which shoves it over there, and now the machines are working. You can't see them, but they're working. You can see this one working. I mean, when you see it flash, that's when you notice it's working. So all of these are yeah, mainly rotten flesh. When it's not rotten flesh, and that's gold nuggets going through. A gold sword will flash that one back there. But that's it. That's machine quote working. Like, you can't really see it working, but if you come down here, oops, you can see all the stuff getting sorted out. You see how that works? And that's cooking the swords that get sent there. There's not as many swords as are in Bedrock. In Bedrock, you get more gold swords. But that's okay. So yeah, then I made the spiffy train line, so I don't have to row my boat and lagging my house, because the pigmen would just accumulate forever. Well, I guess until they entity cram and die. I mean, I can make another one on spawn, so it's always loaded, and then have the pigmen just fall to their death. That's another way of doing it. It's not as efficient, but since it'll always be loaded, I don't care. It'll just be a constant trickle of gold coming in, which is nice. So why do you need all this gold? Well, number one, I want to make rails, so I made a bunch of powered rails. I have a bunch of stacks so far. I'll make more stacks with all that gold I have there right now. But then, well, then what do you do with all these rails? And then I show you, ha ha ha, we go into the nether. And then, see, there's this side of it. Hey, Enderman, why don't I kill you? You're not supposed to be here, dude. Get out of here, Enderman. Alright, there was a pigman here too I was going to end. There you go. What's up, guy? I'm going to end you. Yeah, that was me. Oh, buddy. Alright. So this is the old station, the old nether station. But I have made a new nether station. Oh yes, this is designed off of K1, his 2018 rail station design. I just changed the mechanism here. But yeah, if you go through this design, it's much like the Freelioth version. You come up here, when you select your your station, the piston will change. So I'll select just a random station, like that one right in the middle. So I select that station, the thing lights up. You go in here, you check this out. You see this piston is fired, created a path to come down and to drop you into this line. And that line will take you to this position where you drop, and it'll take you off in that line. And of course this line goes nowhere yet because I haven't made all the stations yet. But then it'll reset, and that will get pushed back because there's a tripwire that you can't see going across this line, going across right here. Okay, here, let me turn up the sound, right? That helps a lot. Oh, this way. Options, music sound. All right. So there, we got that going here, and then you come back along this ingenious method, which combines two lines on the y-axis. I think it's the y-axis. Maybe it's the z-axis. I don't know what they call this axis, but the up and down axis, like this. That's pretty ingenious. It's cool. And then, yeah, there's like the nether outside. I had to hide the nether, basically, is what I made here. A rail station. And then nether brick to signify going to the nether fortress. Man, you can hear all the ghasts outside. Can't come in here though, buddy. And yeah, I don't know. I haven't. This is the roof of the nether. I haven't seen what's down. I don't know what's below. Pillager outpost. That's my next thing. I need to make a pillager farm, and I've seen a really good design on how to do it. That's not insane like you needed to before. This one's really, really easy. But I guess I can do that later. I have two other things I need to do. Well, I have to make a sheep farm so I can get wool, a wool farm, and I have to make an overworld rail station because while it's nice to have this, no, I don't want that one. I want this one over here. I want to go to the nether station, nether fortress. While it's nice to be able to go in the nether, the problem with riding a rail in the nether is that it's the nether. You don't see anything. It's just ugly. It's like gross. And it's only netherrack. No one wants to see netherrack. Like, netherrack is awful. I hate nether. And I don't want to be in the nether because when you're in the nether, it's super dangerous. So yeah, let me turn this down a bit. All right. So yeah, the whole point of being in the nether is to not be in the nether. Like, I come down off the roof to come down here, but ghasts will blow up my rail if they see me. I started making a wall and then I got lazy. So I don't know. Yeah, and the only reason to come here now is for this stuff. There's no other reason. And this is such a bad farm. I mean, it's an okay farm, but it's not very efficient. You have to run around a lot. So, and they don't accumulate. So I have to redesign this farm. I have to remake this farm. Otherwise, and then I made a better gold farm. This gold farm is totally broken. I hate this gold farm. This old gold farm I made first, this is terrible. Yeah, this one's awful. My first design, not here. This is my first gold farm design. Oh, it's so bad. Yeah, there it is, right? And they all just stand there. So I need pistons to push them down. Because otherwise they just stand there and they take forever to fall down. And it's so slow. Look at it. Just, yeah, this is no good. No good. My new farm is much better. Way better. All right. Yeah, nope. Sorry, guy. We're out of here. This is the no good design. I mean, it was all right. It got me a couple stacks, but it's nowhere near as efficient. Yeah, I made a real proper station here now. No more of that other thing. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of work, a lot of work in Minecraft. It's kind of ridiculous how much stuff I've been doing. I don't know why. I guess I need content. All right. See how this works? It's awesome. It's so nice. It's so nice. We're gonna leave this station. I want to go back to my. Gold farm here. Just because it's the most profitable. I have enough iron. I don't need to AFK around iron. But I can always use more gold because I can make golden carrots. Instead of eating animals, I can eat golden carrots. And that's like the best food in the game. Except for golden apples. But either one of them, you know, gold, I can eat the gold instead of making rails. So it'll be great. If I hang out here though, it'd be loud. I want to go up here. All right. Is the sun rising? Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about stuff. Robert Mueller. That's not the one. That's the one. Robert Mueller gave his testimony. And what happened? Democrats read his report back to him. And watching it, for me, it made me angry because they didn't give him time to look up the thing that they were citing. Like, I don't like the format that they used. They used a format where everyone had 5 minutes, which is not enough time to build a coherent case. I mean, you're trying to string together lots of things into one deal. And if you're breaking it up every 5 minutes, then you can't, it's really, really hard to piece it together conceptually. And then everything is rushed. So the Democrats would ask him a question, and Robert Mueller would be looking up the page, the citation, because he wants to be sure about what he's talking about. But the Democrats have very short time, so they don't give him the time to do it. So like he can't really give a really good answer because they don't give him time to look up the part of the report. But fortunately for the Democrats, they cited every single page. So that if you want to, you can go back and listen to it slowly like a human and look up each page and read what they're talking about. Okay. Then when it switched over to the Republicans had no issue with the findings of the report. They never talked about the findings of the report. So I think they were okay with the findings of the report. They said, okay, there were numerous contacts between the Russians and the Trump campaign, and the Trump campaign lied about these contacts, kept them hidden. That's okay by the Republicans. They're like, that's no problem. They had no issue with Trump working with the Russians in secret. That wasn't an issue for them. For the Republicans, their issue were the people who who did the investigation. So they're okay with the conclusions that Trump campaign conspired with the Russians to steal the 2016 campaign. They're okay with that. What concerns them is that the FBI and the informants may not be the best people. So the conclusions are sound, but the investigators are questionable. So they attacked the credibility of Robert Mueller, and they attacked the credibility of Robert Mueller's report. The Republicans. They couldn't attack. They couldn't attack the conclusions, so they attacked the messenger. They couldn't hurt the message, so they attacked the messenger. That's what I saw between the two, and it made me angry watching it because like no one had time to speak, or like it was so broken up that it was difficult to follow things. I liked it when they switched to the judiciary, or I'm sorry, the House Intel Committee, because Representative Schiff and the other Democrats spoke more slowly, and they gave people time to process what was going on. It wasn't just fast, 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 fast. They didn't treat Robert Mueller like a prop. Well, the Republicans did, because Republicans were talking about like nonsense things. When they questioned Robert Mueller, they didn't really question Robert Mueller. They just grandstanded. they just talked like nonsense. Like a conspiracy theory. They just talk conspiracy theory, and Robert Mueller's like, you guys are off on your crazy conspiracy theory. I have no idea what you're talking about. And that conspiracy theory is fed to them by the fringe media of the internet, picked up by Fox News, and then fed into Donald Trump's brain, which then he tweets out. Idiot. What else happened? Donald Trump just being a stupid racist because he needs to distract from Robert Mueller's testimony. He can't have people looking at Robert Mueller's testimony, and which keeps pointing back to the report, because then people are going to read the report, and if people read the report, they're like, oh, Donald Trump conspired with Russia to steal our election, and then lied about it, and then covered it up all the time. Now here's where they're going to try to get me. They're going to say, Robert, you're not credible. Robert Mueller said he did not conspire with Russia. And I'm saying no. What he said is, Robert Mueller is that he could not establish that Trump conspired with Russia. Why couldn't you establish that? Because people lied, destroyed evidence, and pleaded the fifth. That's why they couldn't establish it. But there's all the evidence of collusion, except Robert Mueller couldn't call it collusion because that's not a legal term. But if you just look at it, not a lawyer, everyone's like, oh yeah, that's collusion. Hey, there's a skeleton way over there. Not anymore. So now we're at this point. I think Americans need to start understanding, like what I've been saying, what many people have been saying for a long time, that Trump is disloyal. Trump is not loyal to the United States. He's not loyal to the U.S. people. That's why I call him a traitor, because he's not loyal. He's disloyal. His actions do not constitute the actions of a person who faithfully defends the United States and the Constitution. So people got to understand it. Like, I haven't been doing a show for all this time to repeating this thing over and over again for my health. I'm doing this to get people aware that Donald Trump is a traitor and the GOP are complicit, which makes them traitors too. Like, man, I've been saying this over and over and over again. Here, let me read that report again of those points. Right? Russia interfered in the 2016 election in a sweeping and systemic fashion. Robert Mueller said they're even doing it right now as we sit here. So Trump, if Trump helped them, what's his face? What's his name? Slay you guys. Alright, and then it's so nice. I don't have to do anything unless I pick up crap. Then I have to deal with the crap I pick up. But otherwise, super nice. So it's so annoying to hear them though. So I turn off the sound, or I just hang it up here. Then you hear the sound of the gates. I'm gonna turn off the volume. Oh. I'm clicking on OBS. That's funny. All right, here we'll do this. We'll just watch them come. Donald Trump lied about these contexts, and then after he lied about this and the investigation started, he told his personal lawyer to fire Robert Mueller to stop the investigation. He fired James Comey to stop the investigation. He told this to the Russian ambassador in the White House when he invited them over and kicked out all the Americans. You guys have to understand what's happened. Donald Trump sold us out. He sold us out. That's the reason why I sit on the corner or stand on the corner and yell my lungs out on Saturday morning. I did it again this Saturday morning. And people hate me. The merchants hate me. The market hates me. The Nazis hate me. Isn't that weird? Here, let me show you what happened, right? So, oops, not that one. So, okay, this is the sign that first started me going, right? We know that Russia attacked us in a sweeping and systemic fashion. This guy right here and his wife are saying Russia is not the enemy. The people who attacked us are not the enemy. Who is the enemy? They agree with Trump that the enemy is the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, the DOD, and Congress. They agree with Trump because Trump says this. Trump says the people investigating him are the enemies. So yeah. Let's see. Where's the button I want? There's the button. So they show up again, right? Here, yesterday, they show up again. So now he's talking, why are these war criminals still free? So he says Trump in there and Bush, well, Trump really to make it look like, and then Bush really to make it look like he's being quote unquote fair. But then he's got Clinton both and Obama. So really, you can tell he's tinfoil hat. He's crazy man. He's trying to show that it's quote unquote both sides. It's called false equivalence. I did a whole show about this false equivalency. So what he's doing here is false equivalency. He's trying to say, see, Trump who committed treason by conspiring with a foreign entity to overthrow our democracy, is the same thing as Secretary Clinton with Benghazi, right? They're both bad, the same kind of badness. When really it's whatever, dude, you're nuts. They're nowhere near the same thing. You're on crack. But he's doing it. Look at him. Look at him. He's doing it. He's spreading it. Now, the problem is the market and the merchants love this guy. Or they don't love him, but they're okay with him because he's quiet. He doesn't disrupt business. So he's allowed to come into the market. This other guy, right? Let's return to the Bill of Rights. Oh, do you mean let's stop the police from killing black people? No, he doesn't mean that. right? Look at him. He's an old white guy. He doesn't mean that. He doesn't mean that. He means free speech. He doesn't want Antifa to stop his free speech. That's what they're about. Now, here's another one of their signs that they put out, right? Hey, radical feminists, white males are good people. Oh, look at that. All lives matter, huh? Oh, geez. Radical feminists. How many radical feminists have killed and raped women? Right? You have a pedophile in the White House, friends with the pedophile billionaire, Epstein. Trump, the pedophile, is friends with with Epstein, the pedophile. Like the reason, like one of the reasons why Epstein is in prison now might be, I'm speculating here a bit, might be that Trump knows that Epstein has blackmail material on Trump. So Trump is using the power of the state to go after his enemies. That's what he does. He's a mob boss. That's what Trump is doing. He knew that Epstein has blackmail on him, and he could use the power of the state to stop that. However, Russia has blackmail on Trump that Trump can't stop. So Trump has to be Trump has to be the thrall of Putin. He has to be Putin's slave because Putin has blackmail on Trump. But Trump now has power over Epstein, so Trump can get rid of the blackmail that Epstein has. What kind of blackmail? Pedophile blackmail. Like, man, I'm telling you. So this guy doesn't, these guys don't ever talk about that stuff. They don't want you to talk about that stuff. They want you to point at the radical feminists, right? So you know they're Nazis. You can tell they're Nazis. You can tell. Now here, look. On the other guy, you can't see it, but on the other side of this guy's sign, it says no war for Israel. Right. So he's trying to make it look like he's both siding it, right? No war for Israel. Right? So he's trying to make it look like he's both sides it, but he doesn't. He has no intention of being friendly with Israel. He doesn't care. He does not care about Israel. He's only using it to cover up his Nazism. Right? Because that other sign on the right that you can't see, it says, hey, Antifa. Free speech is for everyone. So he's attacking Antifa. Right? Nazis killed people in Portland. There was a Nazi who killed 3 people in Portland. Another Nazi, the Proud Boys, got brought up on charges for instigating a riot and closing down businesses in Portland. Yeah, there are Nazis that come in, the Proud Boys come into Portland shouting free speech, free speech. These guys are the same thing. These guys are Proud Boys. They're the same thing. So they are angry that Antifa are stopping Nazis from wrecking neighborhoods. That's their problem. Now the businesses are friendly with these guys, right? The merchants don't care about these guys because they're nice and quiet. That's why the market lets them come in. They don't cause. They're only quietly recruiting for Nazis, so they're allowed to come into the market. I'm loud. I'm disruptive. Like Bertolt Brecht, I create dissonance. I do not create a good environment for doing business. So I'm the enemy. So do I have any more? Nope, that's it. So that's what's happening like full time at the market. At the farmers market. So you have to know that Nazis use farmers markets to recruit people. And those guys are Nazis. They're crypto Nazis. They don't want to come out and say they're Nazis because, that's still frowned upon. There's a woman who did the Hitler thing. She did the Hitler thing in the market. And I went to take a picture and she ran away again. That's what they do. They hide behind, oh, I'm just joking, dude. I'm just joking. It's just a joke. No, you're not joking. You're not joking. That's what you are. So I get pushback from not only the Nazis and the market and the merchants, I also get pushback from liberals. Liberals will come to me and say, oh yeah, we agree with your message, but when you call people Nazis, that's divisive. When you call people Nazis, that's divisive. That makes people turn away. That makes them harden in their position. And I'm like, well, that's not on me. That's on them. If being called a Nazi makes you more of a Nazi, that's not my fault. That's your fault. That's inside you. That means you were a Nazi the entire time. I had this guy who walked around the market, like he sent me an email telling me that, oh yeah, I'm on the fence, but when I hear these liberals call people Nazis, that just makes me want to support the Nazis. Well, then you're a Nazi. It's not the liberals that made you do it. You were always a Nazi. The liberals just made you come out. That's my job. I make Nazis come out. The merchants, they don't want divisiveness. They want harmony. They want people to just spend money. And when I come there and lay bare the reality that there are Nazis that walk amongst us, when I lay bare that reality, that's bad for business. And they don't like me. The market doesn't like me. But they like fascists because fascists are quiet, right? White supremacists are quiet. These guys will let business do their thing and recruit quietly. And tear down America quietly, right? Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead and say that Russia is our friend and that our government's the enemy. Go ahead, as long as you're quiet about it. Recruit Nazis if you want. Just be quiet when you do it. That's what we're in. That's the information war we're in. So Robert Mueller puts out this report, and he doesn't make a fuss about it. He's like, I'll let Congress handle it. But Congress is super slow and quiet. Why? Because none of the people are saying anything about it. Why? Because they don't know. Why? Because they didn't read the report and they don't know what's in it. So if everyone's just quiet and just do business, the cover-up works. Yay, the cover-up worked. It worked, the cover-up. That was Trump's point. The whole point is Trump to cover it up so nothing comes of this. That's what Trump wants. So if business has its way, the cover-up works, and they get to keep making money in the short term, because this is not going to be good for our long-term health. No one knows it. I mean, climate change is going to wreck us. That's going to be bad for business in the long term. But, no one wants to talk about that. These guys don't want to talk about that. No, they think climate change is a hoax. So, yeah, you can't get tricked. Don't get tricked. They may look like nice, quiet, old white men, but they're Nazis. They're crypto-Nazis. And they're back. Because they feel that the market turned against me. That the market, and the merchants don't like me now because I'm disruptive. So that's their space to crawl in and get sheltered by the market. So they get sanctioned by the market by being allowed in there, but I am not. Now the market wants to say that's because I use bad language and stuff. No, that's only after they kick me out. After they kick me out, I'm no longer bound by their rules. So I can do whatever I want. But while I was in the market, the reason they kicked me out is because I talked to people and they stood 10 feet back away from me while they talked to me. So when I replied to them, it was loud. And so they used that to kick me out. People that I talked to insisted on being far away while they talked to me. So when I responded, I was loud and I got kicked out of the market for that. That's why I got kicked out of the market. Everything after that is a result of them kicking me out of the market. To make room for these guys, for these fascists to come in. Because the fascists are quiet and are okay for business. They don't disrupt the good Germans. So man, what is going on? I don't even know. Yeah, people at my work, still don't recognize that Trump is a fascist. They don't recognize it. And that makes me wonder, how racists can never figure out that they're racist? They always deny it. I think it's the same thing with a fascist. You can't see it if you're a fascist too. Because if you see it, that means you have to acknowledge what you are, I guess. So it's part of the self-deception. So this is where we're at right now, America. We have a fascist in office with concentration camps. And the way that these Nazis work is that they attack the weakest people amongst you, and then when you don't do anything, that gives them permission to attack the next level up. And if you don't do anything, then they go up to the next level up, and they slowly work their way up because there's no bottom. They'll never stop. They only stop when you make them stop. That's what Nazis do. So in the beginning, the Nazis went after the Muslims, and they created a hate campaign, and they banned the Muslims. And then after that, they started going after the other groups, right? Then they went after the refugees. Refugees are fleeing violence. They have nothing except the clothes on their back. They have family up here. They have connections in America, but they have like nothing else. So it used to be that they would come up here and they would get taken care of by the people that they come see up here in America. But now the Trump campaign stops them and puts them in prison, in concentration camps, where they're denied basic human dignities, treated worse than prisoners. Because prisoners get showers, but not concentration camp people. So fascists go after the weakest people. And so now, after the Muslims, then they went after the refugees. And since Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer gave Trump more money to open more camps, that's what he did. That means that's permission for him that's tacit permission for the concentration camps that Trump is operating. So now he got that. So then what you do is great, now you go up more. Now you go after nationalized citizens. Brown people, he's brown, he's a U.S. citizen, but he's brown. So his papers must not matter. So that's what they did. They locked up some U.S. citizen for like a month. They just locked him up. He's a U.S. citizen. They can look this stuff up. He has a social security number. He has a birth certificate. He has all that. But they said, no, that's fake. We don't buy it. We can look it up, but we don't believe it. So we're going to lock you up. The government is going to deprive you of your liberty for no reason. Deprive you of due process for no reason. That's what's happening. Because Trump is a fascist. So they went from Muslims not yet in the country, just banning them, to refugees in the country, to brown U.S. citizens. What's next? Who's next? You see how they're ratcheting it up? Are they going to go after women now? I think they are already after their reproductive rights. U.S. citizens, their reproductive rights. Like, they're trying, right? They're trying. That's what they're going to do. Anything they can take, they'll take. It's only when you stop them that they'll stop. So these guys, these fascists, have come back and taken the market. I can't stop them. The merchants aren't going to stop them. The merchants like them because they're quiet. The owner of the market is not going to stop them. Because that's who was there before I showed up. So yeah, the guy walking around who I started this conversation with, he's a Trump supporter. So he doesn't mind. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and then remember, these signs are going to spread. They're already spreading around. You see how much space they take up, the fascists? So yeah, here, let me put that picture up again. I should leave that picture up. Here, can I add another thing to this? Another, that way when I'm pointing to it, you know what I'm pointing to. Media source. Add existing. No. Media. No, it's a window capture. Add window capture. Window capture existing in front view. There we go. Okay. But make it tiny. In friend view. Where you at, dude? Okay. Yeah. So these guys are fascists, chilling at the market. Uh, they look old and white, but that's the major. That's they're the ones. They're the ones who are gonna grow in number. They were there before, and they're gonna spread their signs more and more um, of lies, and the market's okay with it, and the vendors are okay with it because they're quiet. They don't disrupt business. Well, there's that. Here, where else can I go? This is my great thing here. I'll ride my. Here, I'm gonna get in the boat. So, the Democrats, the Judiciary Committee is moving slowly toward impeachment. It's happening, just slowly, uh, really slowly. Pelosi is not doing it at all. It's coming from Nadler. Uh, so it's basically impeachment just without. Well, that's what he says. It's impeachment, but without calling it impeachment. And I don't know why he won't call it impeachment. I don't get it. And I don't know if that's gonna weaken his court position, but I don't think so. I think he'll enforce the subpoenas. And if he runs into a roadblock, that's when he'll call it impeachment. He's exhausting every single possibility below impeachment he can before he gets to impeachment. That way he can say at the very end, there's nothing else I can do. I've tried everything else, literally. Man, that took forever. Mining all that obsidian, oh man, that took like hours. And then getting the turtle eggs, that took hours. To make the turtle sanctuary, that took hours. Yeah, built in the swamp. So I have all these aspens because aspen trees are the best because they're easy to chop down. They only grow straight up, no branches, and they don't grow so tall that you can't chop them down with just by walking. So I've come to really like aspens. Easy to chop down, easy to harvest. So I used to have a wood shortage, but then I'm like, oh look, this easy, wonderful tree to harvest. So now I have tons of wood because it's so easy to harvest. And it's funny because I go through wood like nothing else. More than iron, more than anything else, it's wood. Constantly going through wood. Bertolt Brecht, that guy is great. He's a playwright, poet, and composer. And he made this opera called the Three Penny Opera. That's where that song Mac the Knife comes from. And yeah, it uses dissonance. Sounds that don't go, that hurt your ear when you hear them. Instead of sounding nice and comfortable, like harmony, it makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel bad. It doesn't sound right. Like on purpose. It's purposefully not sounding right. That's dissonance. Makes you feel uncomfortable. And that was the point. He wanted you to feel, Bertolt Brecht, when he wrote these things, he wanted you to feel uncomfortable. He didn't want you to feel nice and comfortable and pleasant. Because when you're nice, comfortable, and pleasant, you fall asleep. And when you're asleep, then you're not awake. And you just don't know what's happening. So yeah, dissonance. Bertolt Brecht, Three Penny Opera. Look at that, so nice and easy. Oh wait, one grew. So easy. And I've got tons of wood, and it costs me like no time. I'll just replant. Replant! I must replant. So, yeah. Also, remember what you learned. Fascists don't look like what you think they're going to look like. They're not going to look like full Nazi regalia. Like, I ran into this couple that I wasn't sure what was going on. But then because they were covered in tattoos, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, and they were all wearing like Ghostbusters shirts. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And then they started talking to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. We're on the same team. Great. But yeah, I forgot why I said that. Oh yeah, because I wasn't sure, right? By what they looked like, I couldn't tell. So just because someone looks a certain way doesn't mean that's how they are. So those Nazis in this picture, they look all nice. They look like nice, normal white guys, old men, but they're Nazis. They're crypto Nazis. And if you talk to them, remember what their signs said, right? They're crypto Nazis. They're. See what I mean? Both sides, crypto Nazis. Remember, right here, crypto Nazis. Remember these guys. They look normal, but they're totally not normal. These guys are Nazis, and the market tolerates them, and the merchants like them because they're quiet and don't disrupt their business. That's why they were there for so long, unchallenged, until I showed up. And even then, I get crap. Even now, I get crap. I don't want to go there. I hate going there. I can't wait till I don't have to go there anymore. I can't wait. I'm so sick of going there. Alright, so did I get enough? I only got 35? Dude, I didn't hardly get any. Aspens are hard to grow, are hard to farm. Are these even aspen leaves? Are these even aspens? Yes, I see. So I'm using a looting 3 sword, hoping aspens come out. Aspen saplings. There's a few. $42. So yeah, we're at the point now where information warfare is going to ratchet itself up, because Russia's already done this before. They're already inside. Robert Mueller's told us they're doing it again as we speak. So it's gonna be harder this time to tell the difference, because they've gotten better at it, and they have a whole media behind it. The Fox Media is a not loyal to the United States. Fox Media is loyal to the Confederacy. So you gotta keep that in mind. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. This guy is I don't like him. How do I get rid of him? There we go. All right. Okay. Oh, what time? How long have we been going? About an hour, exactly. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I showed off my gold farm. That was pretty cool. Like, things are exponential. Now that I have a gold farm and an iron farm, I can make rails. All I need is a rail station and a place to go, somewhere to go. So I haven't found a jungle yet, so I can find a jungle. I haven't found a pillager outpost, so I can go find a pillager outpost. It's shorter to do this all in the nether, but it's not as much fun to ride the rail. And I have a lot of downtime when I don't do anything in this show. So I could just, do an overworld rail and talk while I'm writing. Anyways, and also it's nice when I have a co-host. We can talk about stuff. But yeah, we're moving to a new phase. We're moving towards impeachment, and that's we're gonna see now who's on our team, who's loyal to the United States. Just look for this, because this is gonna be the big issue moving forward. Where do your loyalties lie? Okay, America, thank you for hanging out, and thank you for listening to me. I hope you have a very nice day, and I will catch you on the other side. All right, peace. PogokeRo out. Stop.